Just call out our names. Whatever you may need will make your dreams come true. In the Sven Zone, the adventure awaits you. Step into the magic, feel the energy. Open up your mind, set your spirit free. Welcome to the Sven Zone. Oh, 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 oh. Welcome to the Sven Zone. Take a step and go. Welcome to the Sven Zone. You'll never be alone. Welcome to the Sven Zone. You'll never be alone. Welcome to the Sven Zone where dreams are shown. Welcome to the Sven Zone, where the music plays, dancing in the moonlight, enjoying sunny days. In this world of wonder, anything is possible. Come along and join us, let's make it unforgettable. All your hopes and fears, they will disappear. Feel the love and joy, let it all be clear. Welcome to the Sven Zone. Oh, 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 oh. Welcome to the Sven Zone. Take a step and go. Welcome to the Sven Zone. You'll never be alone. Welcome to the Sven.
It's totally drought. It's totally drought. What's up, everybody? It's Friday night, November 1st, and it's the D&D night. And tonight we're playing in Sven's campaign, our second session. And he's that guy down there, right there. He's gonna take over. Right? Okay, I'm out.
This is number 3,
Is it?
actually. But
Oh, I got the stream wrong then. Let me fix that.
yeah, so this is number 3, and so don't have any real, any kind of real clerical work we have to take care of. So we can get right into it. I do have one question for everybody, though. Sort of a warm up here. I know it's difficult to bring up these type of subjects with the climate that we're in right now, but I'm gonna just go left to right. Start with Drake.
Oh.
Candy corn, yes or no?
If it's the last candy on Earth, it's still a no.
All right, John Maticuri.
Not preferred, but I'll eat it in a pinch. But generally, no.
All right, and Weed Whacker. Candy corn, yes or no?
We can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
No.
All right, and Jingo.
If you put a bowl within reach of my hand, I will be eating it, but I won't seek it out.
Great. I would rather eat a pumpkin flavored candle, pumpkin scented candle, than candy corn myself. But my wife loves it. So, and there was a thing where they put a bunch of candy corn and then poured in a mason jar, poured vodka in it till it congealed, and then they made a drink out of this mess.
I saw one where somebody took a pre-made pizza crust and put candy corn on it and baked it in the oven to where it looked like cheese. It's like
Wow.
that is grounds for assault.
You might as well hide pineapple on mine.
Right.
Did you get your mic fixed, Tim?
How about now?
Yeah.
There we
Candy
go.
corn?
Candy corn, I'm a yes for me, but I actually prefer it with some peanuts, salted peanuts.
Oh, there you go.
Somebody else said that. Like peanuts and candy corn make it taste like what they say.
Offset.
They said
The salty to offset, not off sweat.
All right.
No, it's
so
still candy corn. It's just the whole idea. Why am I eating just sugary flavored sugar?
all right. So now that that's out of the way, we are now getting into the last time in the Sven Zone. Once again, every player gets one guess. There are 8 things wrong. You have to find 4
There's 8
for
things
recognition. If you cannot find more than 2, the NPCs will get recognition. And if you find 3, nothing happens. If you start with the words, actually, it's not required, it is encouraged. So last time in the Sven zone, on the way to Baldur's Gate, the barbarian and the paladin are attacked by Exvarts and kill them all before continuing on. Gayahi, Foster, Henry see a mastiff get killed by rats. The angry mob blames them for the dead dog and drives them out of town. Both groups come together, see a water mephit harassing dire wolves. They destroy the wolves. On their way to the rest of the ruins, to rest in the ruins, they are captured. The date of these encounters was 10th day, 28th, Kythorn, the summer solstice. Each member of the party are made to do menial tasks before being put back to sleep. Everyone is woken up, and a drow woman guarded by big orc warriors stands outside the prison cell and spoke to the prisoners. I am Mistress Yana of House Mizraim. You are my property. The sooner you realize this, the easier your life will be. Accept your fate, learn to obey, and you may survive. So, with our rolls that we made tonight, we start with Jingo. What is one thing that is wrong with the statement?
She was not guarded by orcs. She was guarded by Yeti or some such. I don't know what they were. Never seen them before.
Correct. She had these big white creatures and other drow warriors. You are correct. All right, that's one. Next is Drake.
I don't remember no stinking water method.
Okay. Do you remember what kind of method it was?
It wasn't water. Was it ice? Was it? I don't
Does
remember.
anybody else remember what kind of method it was?
Steam or fire?
Did it die so fast that it didn't get to do its thing? I don't know.
It took off before you guys could fight it.
Mud.
Mud.
Yeah.
So that's 2. All right, Weed Whacker.
I'm looking through this. And I cannot see anything that pops out. I apologize.
That's
That
okay.
is
We're
not-
allowed to miss one.
Yeah, I mean, I knew the method was wrong and the orc, because I actually have that written down.
Yes, you actually had some really cool notes. I was impressed, so I agree. And Matakure.
I believe the date was the 20th of Kythorn, not the 28th of Kythorn.
That is correct. All right.
Because
So you
I read the
guys-
message of the day.
That's right. That's right.
I thought the
right,
message
so
of the day
if-
was just wrong. I'm sorry.
If you all, if Caesar is able to get one correct, and presuming he's here relatively quickly, you guys will get recognition. And what that basically is you will have one and 120 that you can use for any role for yourself or somebody else tonight. So we will see how Caesar does when he gets here. All right, any last minute questions or comments before we get rolling? All right, so when last we left, where's Discord? Here it is. Okay. You look around as she's. Actually, I'll go ahead and hopefully Caesar's not listening. If he is, that's all right. You get a freebie. I'll tell you guys what the other things that were wrong. You did not kill all the Xvarts. One of them ran away.
Yeah, it wasn't a mastiff.
It was a mastiff. Yep, that one is correct. But they were skeletal wolves, not dire wolves.
All
That
right.
the mephit was harassing. And only some of the party did menial tasks. Not all of you. Two of you were actually brought in just before she got here. You guys were woken up. Two of you were drug in, woken up, and then she came right behind you. She also came into the cell and did not stand outside it. And her name is Ilvara, not Ayana. Those are the 8 things that are wrong with it. At least. Might be something else I missed too, but like last
You
week there were 9
misspelled
things.
sooner right there, by the way. Does that count?
The sooner you
kidding.
realize this, that's correct.
No, I was joking, but would it have counted if you misspelled something?
I'd give it to you, sure. It is a mistake, absolutely. All right. So
What was her name again? Because I have it written down the same as you have it written down.
In the
look at
message of the day. Mistress
Correct, you'll see
Ilvara.
Options, the gear button, and then down at the bottom, message of the day. Get you back there.
Oh, I want to try to.
Unless you're
now
good like
share
me
you
and you just hotbar it.
Ilvara. Here's
there,
the
number 12.
image. Come on. And for those of you taking notes, if you want to, you can also drag from the dragon, where it says drag record link. You can drag that right into your note. Boom, if you want to.
On the journal tab.
Oh yeah. Speaking of witches, you now have journals. And so there's a couple different things that can be done with these. Next week, because I forgot to take the table down and restart it, I will be able to share images and story entries if I want to with everybody. But you can just click new entry and you'll notice it'll make a new date. It'll put a dated entry in there for you. You can then drag that to the chat bar, and then anybody else can then drag it and add it to their journal. So for example, Jingo and Caesar are being secretaries and scribes taking certain notes, their notes will be in there, and then as they're updated, they will also be updated in your journals. So you can also, if you get crap ton of notes in there, you'll be able to search it.
About, Sven? What is this note taking? That's why I got into recording daily streams. I don't have to take notes.
There you go.
Then you have to rewatch them every time.
Exactly.
Then I have an excuse.
So it exists. Like he said, if you don't want to use it, you don't have to. But you can also.
Seems like it should have always been there like that.
That's right. You can also. The hell is it called? You can just look at images. You can just look at notes. You can just look at quests. If you want to, when it starts getting long, you can also search for something if you're like.
Just put an image in there? No.
You can.
New entry.
Absolutely. All right. So, but like I said, next week it'll work a little bit smoother, and I'll be able to do stuff to it as well. So yes. Okay. So it was Mistress Ilvara to answer your question. There's the image. She's there. She has these big white creatures with her. As you guys look around, you see this thing. It is this large. It's not. It's still considered a medium creature, but it is very large for a medium creature. If it were to stand fully straight, then it would probably be 9.5 feet tall. But this one has this strange, almost like an ascot around its neck, and it's wearing a vest. And it's unlike the other two that you can see right now. And a couple of you have seen some of these before as well. This one has this strange intelligence as it stares and looks at you. Um,
It looks like Beast from Marvel or
it
X Men.
does. Yep. Yep. Also, all the way in the back of this little cave are these two deep gnomes or dark gnomes. The elves have the drow, the dwarves have the um, dwerger, uh, and then there's the snurf neblin. These are the gnome version of the darkness, and the they're both sort of huddled together, um, and have their arms around each other as they're staring and quaking in fear as she's in the room. You also see a female dwarf.
Is her
She
hair
does
that
not have.
brightly red? Cause
It is,
wow.
but she does not have all that stuff on her. She's not wearing the clothes. Um, and there's another dark gnome.
Ooh, he's got a robust nose.
Looks very different than the other two. He's also not cowering in fear. He's sitting there watching as Mistress Ilvara is in there doing her stuff. And the last one is something that was brought in with uh, let me see, who was it? I'm gonna make sure I'm Kranath. Kranath and Penry were the last two that were carried in, and with them was this little guy, about 2.5 feet tall, and it has this sort of where all of you are manacled. It sort of has this little manacle around one of its legs, and it sort of waddles back and forth like R2D2. Um, he does not seem to have any discernible features, despite the. We'll see now. You, John, and Drake have the same. Three of you have the same color, so that's good. That way, I don't know who it was that was missing.
All right, I will change mine.
Anyway, yeah, it doesn't seem to have any discernible features. You're not
I'm
sure
the
if it's
only one
facing you.
qualified to be copper color since my character's name is Copper. So there's that.
Well, so is Ki.
Yeah, he
I
is
mean,
supposed to be
Kiahi.
fiery orange, but
He's a
Saying
little
his name
oranger
all
than
week, right?
mine.
I was going for
Anyway.
more of a gold because paladin, but
So those are 6 other people besides the 5 of you that you see manacled in this small cave. You guys are manacled around the outside of the walls. As she leaves, the drow and the quaggoth stay. You all are. You can hear the water rushing from behind her. Sounds like either some sort of river or um, maybe a waterfall, something that's very large. And function requires. Yeah, that's. Um, all right, so that's because I didn't restart my table, so I apologize.
it's all good. I didn't
It'll
mean
be
to
there
interrupt.
after the break. I'll probably just tear it down during the break and bring it back up. It's the first mistake I've ever made.
I don't ever make them either.
There it is. Yes, as I mentioned, you can hear the water rushing, and it is very humid, but it's also very chilly. It's not warm at all in here. You see no sign of sun. You're clearly in a cave, and even beyond her, you see a little bit of a rope bridge and nothing else. There is one flickering little lantern that's giving off a blue light. A couple of you have seen it already, uh, but there are some sort of flying creatures in there, some sort of bugs that give off this light, and that's hanging just outside the cage that you guys are in and the prison that you're in. So you can see there's a landing outside where you are, and then I see nothing but darkness. Uh, you hear echoing, so it seems like you're in sort of either large cavern or something just outside the prison you're in. It's hard to tell from what you guys have seen. Here it is. I'm going to have this. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. Never mind. Okay. So she leaves, turns around and walks out. The 4 guards and the 2 Quaggoth are there, and they each pick a person and start. Uh, they go to the 4 drow guards. Each pick one of you and come over and slam you back against the wall, and punch you in the stomach a couple times, knocking the wind out of you, and one of the other guards comes in, and you see them pointing a wand at each of you as everything goes black again.
Cowards.
Foster's okay going to sleep again. It's better than getting beat up.
There you go. All right, I will be right back as I take.
Are we all in the same room? Can I drool on somebody? Yeah. I will sleep. Oh,
All
I
right,
see.
so Foster and Kronoth, you all are woken up, and you're you're exhausted. You're given a little bit of water to drink from this dirty cup, and forced to stand. There are 2 drow with you as you're walking, and you step outside onto this sort of almost like a platform, but you see that a few feet away, about 10, 15 feet in front of you, the ground just drops away, and you can hear echoes and sounds, and you see across the way these lights and things moving. Um, I'm going to share these. This is Kronoth and Drake. All right, so these this is a view that where the torches are is where you're coming from, and so you walk across this rope bridge to this huge stalactite, and you are brought through this room. This looks like they've carved out the center of the stalactite across the rope bridge, and down a ways past this cage that goes up and down into the darkness below. and you're brought to a second stalactite. And as you're starting to walk up into this, entering into the stalactite, Foster, you uh, can just barely start feeling the weave again. While you were in the cell, you do not feel the weave at all. Uh, and now it's just out of your grasp, but you're starting to feel it a little bit. And you go into this small room that's been, you have to climb up this rope ladder into another chamber that on the top of this stalactite, and you're made to clean this fancy room. You see this fancy bed and a big symbol of a spider up on against the wall. You see a small mirror above a desk with a chair. And I'm going to start with Foster.
Foster holds up some lace panties out of the dresser. Ooh.
Okay. And then Pranath. Yes. All right. Um, so the two drow guards are watching you, but you have a chance if you want to whisper a couple things to each other. You are able to do so. Is there anything you want to say to each other or questions you have for each other?
If I say anything, that guy's gonna kick me in the head again, so I'm scared.
Okay.
You're the big
Pranath?
guy.
Pranath, you going to say anything to the little kobold?
I got your back, man. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
But can
I
you
think
like
I'm
look
gonna-
around?
I'm gonna pretend like I'm cleaning with these panties, and I think I'm gonna take them.
Go for it. When I look around, do I see anything that kind of catches my eye that I might be able to might recognize or something from being working with the a little bit underground with the dwarves and stuff? My missions.
Give me a history or perception. The history is going to be an easier check than the perception.
Not sure what I did wrong there.
Okay, nope, that was correct. You're just exhausted, and so you had disadvantage.
Oh,
So, uh,
the magic of
you,
Fantasy Crafts remembers all that shit.
okay. You do notice that some of what you thought the furniture that was made out of wood is not actually wood, some sort of material. You're not sure exactly what it is. But from working with the dwarves and seeing how they work with metal and how they disdain some of the elven craftsmanship with the woods and the gnomes, the gnomish tinkerers and things, you do know that the furniture is not wood. So but it's very wood adjacent. Um, and give me a sleight of hand check, Foster. All right. So as
Ooh.
you're trying to hide these panties, one of the guards comes in and grabs you and slams you up against the wall, grabs them, and
I say panty
throws them
raid.
back on the table, and punches you several times, and
Oh, it was worth it. Panty raid.
Hey, get your hands off of him.
Wait till I tell her you had her panties in your hand.
Kronoth, while this is happening, you're able to grab a small section of silk rope, and you sort of quickly tie it around your waist and put your shirt over it. So
So
I'm going to
Foster
you-
has a natural trait of the kobold. It's called it's called grovel, cower, and beg. So I'll be
Okay.
performing that just naturally. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. So he doesn't do it very long, and uh, so Connor, you're able to grab this 5 foot of 5 feet of silk rope, and the other guard um, is watching you. Uh, he's at first he's watching, laughing at that Cole, and then he sort of, when you say something, he turns around, looks at you, puts his hand on the hilt of his sword, um, and you guys are brought back into the jail cell, and once again, everything goes black. All right, and Drake, you are not here. Character's not here. I'm just
Here for
for the stream.
prosperity.
All right, Henry
I'm gonna
is
actually
not
turn
here
my timer
yet.
off for a second too.
Yahi, okay.
Oh.
And Jim Jar.
Yeah, he
All right,
wakes up.
so
Mhm.
as you're Kiahi, you're woken up. They splash water on your face, and you sort of lick the water as it drips down. Like so thirsty. Uh, you see Penry and Jim Jar are with you, as the uh, weird bald dark gnome with the fancy clothes. Uh, you are taken out and taken to, um, as you taken outside the doorway. You see that where are you? There you go. This is the torches are where you're coming from. Uh, in the center, and you see just in front of you. There's a walkway. There's a rope bridge. Looks like 10, 15 feet away from you. At the floor just drops away, and there's a huge waterfall just next to you, and you're led into this huge stalactite that's hanging down. That's been carved out, and you see there's footholds to go up higher into a room above where you are. You cross the rope bridge and are taken to this large main hall that looks sort of like a dining room, or a cafeteria, as far as the what John would understand. But as far as the character, you've seen. Actually, yeah, you were in a monastery and things, so you would know what that looks like. These groups of tables. There's food on several of the tables. There are 5 guards with you, and they are watching you all. You guys are told to clean up the tables. You will have a couple moments where you can whisper to each other. Is there anything? Well, he's not here, but is there anything you wanted to say to this? To think about if there's anything you want to say to Penry,
Okay.
and the gnome comes up to you and says, "I am Jim Jar. I will bet you your next meal that I can clean more than you can."
I have
Say
no
you.
doubt about that. I don't clean.
Penrod
Okay.
would say, "I'm the
Um,
#1 cleaning guy. I'll take that challenge. #1
is
cleaning
there
guy."
any? Hmm,
All right, so you guys are
can I
forced to
use my
clean.
third hand?
At this point, yes. And once you are out,
Did you say
as
third
you're starting to
hand?
clean stuff, you can feel your chi again. You can feel the
I'm a warlock, not a monk. Just FYI.
oh, that's right. You're thinking of the wrong guy. You look like a monk. That's all.
Yeah.
The last avatar, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
So
The
yes,
airbender.
it takes a while, but once you're in this large main hall, you do slowly start to feel the weave again. You don't feel your patron like you normally do. Way in the back distance, you normally feel your patron. It takes you a while to realize that he's missing, but you are able to tap into a little bit of your magic, uh, and you guys are forced to clean. Is there anything you wanted to say to either of them?
Um,
There it is.
and eye out so we can figure out what the heck is going on here. How we can get out.
Okay.
Is
While
it
you're
possible for me to
cleaning,
cast Mage Hand and use that to help clean?
like I said, at first no, but as you're
Okay.
as you've been there for 10, 15 minutes, it's slowly, so it's almost like a psychokinetic movement, and then the mage hand starts to form, and you're able to use it more. Um,
Cool.
and as you're cleaning, you come upon this small little gem. Um, Give me either history or anything else you think you might be able to use to identify what type of stone this is.
Oh, I don't have
I
anything
want
that
to
would
insight
be.
it. Oh no, you can't.
Yeah, it's like everything I have is charisma based stuff. uh,
All right, so give me a history check.
yeah, a history check with my +0
And disadvantage. So there you go.
and disadvantage.
Exhausted.
Yep.
All
So
right.
I know nothing about that thing.
All right, so you find this gemstone. It's clearly flawed from even you with your
It's
uh,
been 80 years.
are able to see that there's this big crack in it. But hey, it's something
Yeah,
more than
free
what
gem.
you have now. So you can decide where you put it.
Oh, I
Uh,
carried this watch for 5
yeah.
long years.
I'll,
All right, there
You
we
can
go.
mage hand
Now
it right
it's
on up
at
there.
least.
yeah. Whoop.
All right, now it's at least noted that it's a gemstone in your inventory. All right, and then you're brought back as you get closer to. As soon as you get into the room, just as you see the wand being pointed at you, you realize you cannot feel the weave anymore, and everything goes black.
Okay.
At least I'm not
No,
lonely.
Topsy Turvy. Zash. Zash is Jingo. Jingo.
Shh, don't say anything. Jingo's here.
Shh, Jinko's here. Wait, I'm Jinko.
I hear the game.
Topsy Turvy, Zash, Kayahi, and Foster. Wow, almost everybody.
So,
All right, so you
Oh,
all
you're
are
back.
woken up again, and you see Kayahi, Zash, Foster. You also see the two little gnomes in the back, and the big white creature. Um, are all woken up. There are 8 drow and 2 of the big white creatures, and you're taken outside. This time, so this is what you see. Oh, um, Zash, you haven't seen this yet, but as soon as you step outside, you see there's about 15 feet ahead of you. Everything drops away, and you're on this ledge. There's a huge waterfall just to the side of you, where the torches are in that image in the center is where you're coming out of. You see there's a rope bridge right in front of you leading to this giant stalactite that has been carved out, and there's some sort of chamber inside it. But you are taken immediately to the left, over to the other cave entrance here. and there's just one of the white beasts is standing outside and sort of moves to the side and just chuckles as you walk by. And the five of you are brought in there. And this place, it's similar to where you are, maybe a little bit bigger to the prison, size of the prison, but it is filthy. Clearly, these white things live here. There are different collections of rags and uh, pillows that are all torn, different, looks like sheets, sometimes shirts, uh, dresses that are just made into these collection of nests here and there. And the place just reeks of, so imagine a wet dog and feces is just disgusting in here, and you guys are forced to clean it out. Um, one of you, you are brought water, a couple barrels of water, and dump them out, and you're forced to just use some of the rags that are there and just push everything out and out over the edge of the precipice there. While you are doing that, um, you are able to whisper to each other. You are under close observation from the guards and such, but there is an opportunity or two during this time where you're able to whisper to people.
All right, I'm here. The beast. You say he's wearing an ascot?
Like in the picture that I shared, he's got this sort of collar looking thing, similar to an ascot type thing.
You large one, do you speak? And I'm looking at the beast guy when I say that.
And he sort of whispers, so he whispers something in another language. Wait, it's clearly a question when you don't respond. He sort of sighs. Well, yes, I do. Prince Darendel. And who might you be?
Wow.
I am Prince Zashir. Well met, sir. I've not met your people before. Forgive my ignorance. Have you
I'm
thoughts
sure
of
you
escape?
have met my kind before, for I am an elf stuck in this dastardly form. And then he sees the guards starting to walk toward you guys, so he turns and starts cleaning on the other side.
Did you say we can kind of start to feel like a little bit of our connection to the weave returning?
Mojo.
Very slightly, yes.
Because this scrubbing this water by hand is. I'm going to start using sheep water a little bit to move it around. Just kind of.
Okay, it is very spotty, literally and figuratively, as you're trying to do it. It gives you a headache, but you are able to use it somewhat to do that.
I, it, I don't think this is a dream. Look.
No, it's not. Be on your best behavior. I don't believe they're joking when they say they would kill us. The time will present itself for us to make our move. Until then, we can't tip our hand.
Yeah.
We're in way too much danger here.
You see that drow over there by the door? He was sniffing that lady's panties. I saw him.
All right.
That might play to our advantage.
Ask him about it sometimes, about the panties. He'll kick my ass again, but it would be worth it.
All right, and so again, the guards sort of wanders over closer to you all, so you're not able to speak. As Keahi, is there anything else? Anybody you wanted to talk to? Did any of you want to try to address anybody besides Prince Darendel, who you now know his name?
Is everyone a prince? Maybe I am, and I just don't know it.
I
Well, you wouldn't know his
can't
name.
think of anything.
Only right now,
Oh,
Zash would heard that. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mataguri.
No, I can't think of anything
Okay.
that I would ask.
Foster's looking for a scraping tool, like a bone that's got a sharp edge.
There are
And he's
lots of
gonna-
bones where
Yeah.
because they've clearly been half eaten,
Yeah, he wants
gnawed
one
out,
that he
the
could
marrow sucked out.
when the dried up white creature dung is hard to get off. He'll use this bone as a little scraper.
Scraper.
But he's also gonna
Okay.
try to.
And as you
take
do, the when the guard comes over and is just watching you, and makes sure that you drop it.
There's another one over
Um,
here. Let me use that again. You know, I just keep picking it up and I'll drop it again. I
Okay.
keep picking it up and I'll drop it again.
There it is.
Eventually, I want to
And
find one just like
Zash.
it.
You find that one of these creatures had swallowed a gold coin.
Why?
And so,
Meaning it was found in the dung pile.
yes.
They're part dog.
So you now have a gold coin. Where you want to hide it, it's up to you.
5 long years I carried this watch for your father.
All right. So after about 3 hours, some of you are having a hard time standing. You're so worn out, tired, exhausted, hungry. You're brought back into the prison cell. All right. Everything goes black.
Are we going back to the campaign? Oh, he just reversed it.
Dash. Make sure I'm reading this right. Okay. All right. So, Kronoth, you were woken up. There are 4 guards there, as well as 2 of the large white creatures. They also wake up the dwarf woman and Zash. And you all are taken out.
It's a good night on the
There
town.
it is. So you are coming from the center where those 2 torches are, and the bars. You see that there's you're brought across a rope bridge to this huge stalactite that's been carved out. Quickly brought through it. You see there are handholds going up to another room above the one you're in within the stalactite. You're brought across this rope bridge. You're brought past this large opening into this room. It looks like a large cafeteria or eating hall, dining hall. And you're brought to this cage thing at the side, looking over the edge of this cliff. From where you are as soon as you're brought out of the cage, I'm sorry, as soon as you're brought out of the prison room, about 15 feet beyond that, it just drops off into nothing. This huge waterfall is next to you, and that's why you have to use these rope bridges and things. And you are brought to where this pulley system, and are forced to work the pulley. And after about 20 minutes, you see you're raising this platform. And I'm going to share this. Okay. Close this. this. There we go. All right. So you are Kronoth. That gives you an idea of what you're looking at. Let me give this to Dash. And to stream. So you all are, this is from the side view. This is your cell. You walk through this one, across the rope bridge, past the waterfall, through another stalactite. Then you're walking along the edge here to just behind this. This one here is where the other door is, to the other hall. There's another door here that's locked or has it shut. And then this is the platform, the little cage that's rising up. As you're doing this, Kronoth and Zash, you are able to whisper to Eldet, to the dwarf, or to each other if you want. The guards are watching you guys very carefully. They also tied ropes around your waist. I presume it's to prevent you from jumping. Did you want to say or whisper anything to each other?
The first thing I want to do is look down. Can I see anything down there, or is it just dark?
Well, how much do you have any dark vision?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so you see across from you. It's hard to judge, but you're guessing it might be 100 feet. Every once in a while, you'll see a torch or some sort of light source, and somebody will be carrying and walking along really small as they're across the way. And when that happens, you see there's this canopy of, looks like webs. Thought it might have been fog at first, but then you realize as you see this huge spider crawling along one of the webs, crawling along it, that there's this canopy of webs. So if you were to jump, you would probably fall onto webs. And they look to be 60, 80 feet down. And there's a section of it that has been cleared for this cage to be lifted up.
I will lean over to the dwarf and say, Lady Dwarf, I am Prince Sash. Well met. I do plan on us escaping, but I ask that until such a time as presents itself, behave yourself. I do believe these people are ruthless and will just kill us if we present a problem. What is your name?
I am called Eldeth. And
Well
I
met,
am a
lady.
warrior as well, and I will be servant of a deity that DM doesn't remember right this second, and I will help you when the time comes.
I know that deity. I'll get back to you later, deity.
Kronoth, did you want to say or do anything?
Who?
Kronoth.
No, I'm just trying to look around and take as much in as I can is all.
Be
I
on the
can
lookout.
know those ways out.
Be on the lookout for any tools, anything that you might be able to use as a weapon, that we might be able to use to break these chains, that anything, be on the lookout. An opportunity will present itself. It always does.
Alright, so as the thing comes up, you see there it's laden with crates and barrels and sacks, all different kinds, and as soon as it gets up, they lock the lift in place, and then take you back to your cell. And Eldeth turns to you and says, "Please, you seem like an honorable man. If something happens to me, take word of my fate to my family in Gauntlgrim. If you find my shield and my warhammer, return them to my family as well." And the guard slams into her and knocks her down for talking. But you guys pick her back up, push her along. I will put that in the frame. Give me a history check. It's going to have to be very high, but there is a slight chance you might have heard of it. Nope. So you don't know what that means, but and all right. Off. You guys are no longer at the crate. All right. Let me put you back. Okay. All right, and everything goes black. Let me. All right, so just to clarify, every time you all are woken up, you do see the others that have been mentioned so far still manacled to the walls. They're asleep. I'll say over the course of time, you'll happen to notice that somebody starts to stir, and they either come up and point a wand at them, or sometimes they'll stab them, slice them with a dagger. Just a small little slice, or the edge of a crossbow bolt, just enough to pierce the skin with the crossbow bolt, and then the person just goes back to sleep. All right, it has. Let me go back to here. It is 6 o'clock. Okay.
Sounds like we're getting a lot of sleep.
All right. Oh yeah, you guys
Yeah,
are.
like long rest worth.
Sadly, you're not rest. It's not restful, but you are getting a lot of sleep.
It's like being in the hospital.
Logging a lot of hours.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right,
There the
I'm
whole
gonna
time
put
you're still dead tired.
Sorcery of this.
Yeah, there's no
Sorcery this
rest
time.
in the hospital.
Yeah.
Nope, can't do it. Okay, got to go back all the way up here. Mine, because the what just happened, what happened with Penry, he's not here. So you all are woken up, and this it's never been very dainty or polite, but this time it seems almost rushed, as they keep dousing you with water, smacking you a little bit to wake you up, um, and you're drug to the front of the room, and you see that the gnome is being held by one of the big white creatures, and it is give me a second here. And as he's being brought up, Henry whispers over to you, says, "As we were being brought out, he tripped and pickpocketed one of the guards. Grabbed the key, but he was caught.
And now they're beating him.
Once everybody, no, they're not being, he's just being held there. And once you all are woken up, you guys, there are ropes wrapped around your waist. And then again, ropes are wrapped around your necks as well. And you are brought to the edge of the cliff. And you look down and there's this human there in a dark robe, and he casts a spell on a rock. It's a light spell, and he tosses it down, and it drops, gets caught within these webs, and you see 60 to 80 feet below where you are is just this canopy of webs that seems to extend beyond what you can see. And as he does so, as the rock hits and quivers within the webs, you see the web start shaking a little bit as these two huge spiders start working their way over to where you all are. And Jim, you see the person there's so there it is. Zash had found out that Heahi had found out that his name was Jim Jar. And here it is, thank you. Boom. So he's like sort of chuckling, is like trying to reason with these. He's speaking in a language that I don't think any of you know. And it's clear that he's trying to reason with them and offering them things, trying to bribe them. Oh, Kranath can understand it. Okay, so you know that he's speaking Undercommon. And as soon as you all are taken on the edge, he is tossed over and lands into the web, and he's barely able to wiggle at all as these two spiders close in on him and start wrapping him up and biting into him. And then you all are drugged back into the cell, except for Penry, Topsy, and they're taken away, and then everything goes black before you guys again.
Right. I guess he won't need the key anymore.
No, but we could have used it.
Yeah, but we know which pocket he keeps it in now.
We're gonna stay up
Very
long
good.
enough to use it.
All right. I'm going to, just to save a little bit of time, it's not a lot happening. Kronoff and Prince and the huge white creature, you are woken up, and they have you fill water barrels. And you take them over to the dining hall, a couple of them to the dining hall. You take some over to where these, there's one of the caves has the beast living in it, and it's disgusting and smells disgusting, but you put one of the barrels in there, and you put one just outside prison as well. And everything goes dark again. As you're doing that, this huge white creature turns to you and Kronoth and whispers, "You appear to be a great warrior. I am Prince Darendil. What do they call you?"
I am
said-
Kenneth, Heart Ripper Velkazi.
He says something in another language, that you don't understand. And then the guards start walking towards you, so he stops speaking. Um, you have not heard any of the other white beasts, the guards and things, speak. None of you have. And like I said, he has this. His eyes are sort of burning with this intelligence that none of the other large white beasts seem to have. Is there anything else you want to say to
Do you
him?
think
You have another chance later on where you're able to whisper something to him if you want.
I'm going to try and speak to him in Undercommon to see if he understands that? Because I didn't
He
understand
does.
what he said.
He
Okay,
does understand
I'm
undercommon.
going to say, your other friend, is he of the same race as you, and is he also a warrior?
So he is the only one that is a prisoner. I showed you this image of the big hulking one just to show what he is. But he is
Ten
the only
four.
one who is a prisoner.
Gotcha. I'll update my note.
Okay. I apologize I didn't make that
So,
clear.
Prince, so are you also a warrior? So I know what we have for when we get ready to break out.
Oops, sorry. Let me get out of that language. There we go. There it is. So Consul Grim is nothing to do with him. I'm going to go ahead and identify this image, since now 2 or 3 of you have talked to him. So, um, and Jingo, if you want to add these people to your list of
I have
people
been adding them. I've been adding their names and their pictures.
Perfect. All right. And so he responds, "Alas, I used to be a powerful mage, but wizard. However, I've been cursed in this form. I'm getting used to it, so I believe I can make these claws come in handy when the time comes." And again, you guys are interrupted by the guards and brought back to the room. Let me check this. All right. Are you with this silk rope? Are you trying to stash it away in the prison and leaving it there, or are you keeping it on you?
I'm trying to stash it away because we're constantly getting tied
Okay.
up around the waist and stuff.
Okay. Good to know. That makes it easy. They can't find it. So, um, all
It's
right.
under the privy bucket. No one looks under the privy bucket.
Exactly. Water barrels. Here we go. Okay, sorry. All right. So again, Zash, Keahi, and the dwarf. Um, you all now know, or a couple of you know, as Eldeth, are taken up to. I'll go ahead and identify her, by the way. So again, here's her picture with her name. Are taken over to operate the lift. This time, there are 4 people in it. And so they stop it just below the landing. You all are brought back into the prison cell. Um, you are not put back to sleep this time. And a few moments later, before these 4 new people are brought in, you see them. They are 3 of them are asleep, The orc is sort of stumbling around. One by one, the guards grab you all, and you're put into a cage, of metal cage, and then submerged in the waterfall for a few minutes, and then drugged back out and put back in, dripping into the cell. So all of you are going to be awake at this time. So all of you will see these new ones. Um, looks to be another dark gnome. You all see what's clearly an orc. You may or may not be surprised to see a drow. He does look somewhat diseased. He's got these little red marks, little pustules on him, discoloration of his skin around his face and hands and arms and legs where you can see them.
He's got chicken pox.
And then you also see this strange fish man.
Ooh.
And he is especially, even those of you who are unfamiliar with the race, you can tell that he's being, as they're dragging him in. It looks like a fish that's been left out of water and in the sun. The scales are starting to flake away. He's gasp even in his sleep. He sounds asthmatic as he's trying to breathe. And they splash water on him, and you see it makes almost a immediate difference as they splash water on him. Um, but the four of them are tied up with you guys. After you all have been cleaned, quote unquote, you're all standing there in various degrees of consciousness. And this Silvana comes in with her guards, and this other drow woman, clearly fancy, very, very fancy armor. She's carrying this thing that looks like a staff, maybe a trident of some kind, or a rod, this large thing. Go ahead and give me perception checks, everybody.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that twice.
Ooh.
All right, so Zash, it doesn't take much to realize you're pretty sure, especially from your, being a noble yourself. You've seen this type of thing before. You're not even sure this armor could take a blow. It's clearly ornamental of some, and very fancy, and it's clearly never taken damage before. It's clearly worn for show. As she comes in, that she
It's like made out of
mentions
tinfoil.
they're talking in a language none of you understand, and she sort of steps in, looks around, sees the diseased drow, sort of shakes her head, and turns, says something. It's clear that she's surprised, and that she didn't. It was clear that she didn't expect to see this guy here, and she shakes the hand of Ilyana, and the elf is disconnected from the manacles and brought out, and he's gone. And as she leaves, Once again, all of you are put back to sleep. I'll give you a quick glimpse of the layout and of where you are and what you see. Now that everybody is awake at the same time. All right, let me just make sure.
Was
these
that chicken
people-
pox, Mom?
Jim Jar is dead.
Can your mom get you out of prison?
He's gone. All right, and later on, if you want to know, let me share this. If you want to know who you're next to, just ask, and I can let you know who's on your right and your left. Zash,
Eldith and Foster. Okay.
the elf, used to be next to you for a few minutes until he was drug off, taken away. And yeah, that's everybody. So you should be able to make sure I exposed everybody. Yes, okay. All right, so that's where you are again. So if you want to, you can whisper to one of the people next to you as the woman takes her stuff out. The guards are sort of distracted for a moment. You can get in a couple words. If there's anything you want to say to the people next to you.
Kiahi will whisper to Eldith. How long you been captured here? Do you know what they're gonna do with us? Seems like an odd group to capture.
So she identifies herself to you and says, I don't know. Everything is so confusing. But I do know that we are to be sold as slaves, as you just saw. This is the only reason we're still alive.
Do you know who that diseased drow was?
I'd never seen him before. All right, anybody else want to say anything? Have any questions?
Foster wants to say something to the mushroom guy.
He's like, Psst. Hey, my name's Foster. Do you have a face?
So it sort of waddles a little bit, and then poof, this cloud of spores comes up, goes out and covers you, Keahi, the two little gnomes, and
Hachu.
for just a moment, you hear in your mind, I am stool. And then everything shuts down again.
Can we take a sample from him?
That's
A
right.
small stool sample.
And
Wow.
I want to do that again. Trippy.
identified. All right, so now stool is identified for everybody.
I don't know. He
Okay,
looks kind of like he's gonna lick a lollipop 3 times or something. I don't know.
Right. But no, in the 10 minutes you've seen him, again, you do not see, even when he spoke, the spores sort of just came from several different small openings and just sort of puffed up. So you do not see any kind of facial structure or anything. All right, Kronoth or, well, Penry's not here. Kronoth or Zash.
I just
I
don't
wanna
want to talk
ask,
to your butt.
Prince Darindal, Durindal.
Right.
He had mentioned that he was a transformer. I want to find out, who he was before, if he'd be so kind.
song breaks out. I am Prince Ali. Da, da, da. I don't know how the song goes, but
Okay, here it is. Um, all right, so again, you guys don't have a lot of time to speak, but he does say, uh, and
May help when
again,
you help me
when
narrow it
he,
down. Like, say, I want to find out, if he was, a human, if he was Elven,
right, yep. Uh, and when you do see every once in a while, if you're working together, things he speaks in that language. Go ahead and give me just a straight either history or intelligence check. And as so you ask him that, he says, "I used to be a gold elf prince, and I have been polymorphed into this Quaggoth form. I am from the kingdom of Nelrindenvane in the High Forest. That damn wizard Terrastor trapped me in this form, and I have been exiled from my people. So I'll go ahead and unlock this. So you recognize that he's speaking Elvish when he mumbles to himself, and he also, well, every time he's spoken to somebody, he's asked them a question in Elvish. All right, Zash.
The only one near me is the dwarf.
Correct.
I'm going to. What are our chains made out of, or are we bound by ropes?
These are metal. You have a manacle around your neck and a manacle around your right wrist ankle.
Do they have keyholes? Have they been riveted on? Are they magic? How are they secured?
They It's hard to, you can't obviously see the neck ones, but it looks like the ones on your um, ankles have been riveted on.
All right.
You see the ones on the neck for the guy sitting next to you?
Yes, and
Yeah.
those have locks. And she is
you can't see the dwarves because she's got too much neck, or not enough neck. So it's all chin.
And these chains are attached to the walls as well?
Oh, I thought she was something else. Okay, so she does not have a holy symbol or a tattoo or anything like that. And she's so when I
She
sh-
she could have a Hell's Angel tattoo. It would be kind of cool.
she mentioned she's a dwarf scout from Gauntlgrim. All right, and what was your question? Does she have what?
What was my question? My question was, how are the chains attached to the wall?
So the chains are attached from the. Let me. All right, here we go.
And I will mention having seen one of the other gnomes get thrown to his death to the spiders for trying to steal something. So they are serious about this. But I'm going to try testing my chains. I don't know that I'm strong enough to break them, but I'm going to have to try. Does the dwarf woman
All right,
look fairly strong?
Is
Because
that a
I'm
trick
pretty
question?
strong.
Is that a trick question? She's a dwarf. Of course, she
so
looks strong.
you can go ahead and give me a strength check.
Can I get an athletics check on it, or just a strength
Yes,
check?
I'm sorry, I meant athletics.
I'm going to expend an inspiration to cancel the disadvantage that I have for probably being fatigued or whatever.
Okay. Yes. All right. So, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to break the chains that connect you to the wall? Are you trying to open your ankle?
I'm trying to pull my chain loose from the wall. Now we're chained to each other as
Okay.
well in like a line.
No.
Oh, so we're individually chained. Yes, I'm trying to loose my chain from the wall.
Okay. All right. So you succeed, and for the rip, this thing pops out. The guards were sort of talking to each other and mumbling as they were coming back in. As soon as you do that, they rush over, and one of them tackles you. They kick you and beat you, and everything goes black.
Yeah, but the chain is broken now.
All right.
Put him in a new spot.
But we've established that I can pull it out of the wall.
Yeah, we've established that maybe if you roll another 20, you might be able to do it miraculously.
Of course I will. I'm a paladin. I'm
I mean,
ultimately
you kind of
confident.
Deity,
just set the DM up for failure right there. A 20?
right.
Really? Right?
All right. So we're gonna go ahead and take our 10-minute break. Has anybody heard anything from
No.
Caesar?
No.
Because this whole next section is all about him. Interesting. All right. So I'm gonna have to shift. It's a good time to take a break anyway.
We'll text him on break.
As I figure out what the hell's going on.
You gonna
and-
take the table down?
Yes. So if you
Oh,
guys
let
want
me
to
jump off the table.
jump off if you want, otherwise I'll just kick you off here in a moment. So
All right, I'm going to set a
stretch your
timer.
legs, grab something to drink, come back at 38-ish, and be right back.
All right. Going to put it on a slideshow. We'll be back. Give us about 10 minutes. All right, we're getting back from break. Turning the table back up because Sven had to unbreak something.
So your journal should now allow you. I'm able to allow to put a image in your journal. So you guys should now be able to do that as well.
Yep.
Cool.
Interestingly, if we add the image to the journal, it shows us the actual image's name, not the unidentified name, even though the image is marked as unidentified.
Okay, I was curious about that. I just thought that maybe that was a DM thing.
I added the creepy gnome to it, and then it shows up as Jim Jar in my
Okay,
journal.
he's dead, so.
That's fine.
Jim
Just
jar.
wanted to let you know.
Jim jar might still be preserved.
In the jar?
Yeah, it could be a spider jar.
Well, the new creepy gnome is still showing up as creepy gnome to me from when I put it in earlier.
Well, there's two creepy gnomes. There's one that's like a Surf Nevelin that's Jim Jar, and there's one that's got like this reddish purplish with the big wide beard and mustache.
Yes.
Which one?
Yep, there's two of them.
Yeah, the one with the burgundy sash and the wide beard thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shows up as creepy gnome to me in my
Oh,
image.
in the image, but when you add it to your journal, for me it shows up as Buppido.
No, it says creepy gnome when I open mine.
In the image or in the journal? So I'll
Well,
show you what it looks like.
I have my own notes. I have my own notes.
Ah, okay,
and,
yeah.
Right.
He's talking about on the journal tab on your character sheet. If
In
you
your character sheet, there's a journal
when you
tab.
drag
If
the
you
image
drag
there,
the link,
it identifies
it
the name.
I
that
got you.
sounds like
Yeah, I
a
wasn't using that. I wasn't using that.
If you want to break the fourth wall, you can do that as well.
I just tested
Eventually,
that.
you guys will know what their names are anyway, so it's not a huge deal. I'm not worried
Dead
about
guy
it.
number 1, dead guy number 2, dead guy number 3.
Spider food 1, spider food 2.
All right, so I will shift then if he's not going to be here. It just makes a lot more sense to do it with him, but I guess we'll have to do it with Foster. Whatever.
It doesn't make any sense to Foster. He doesn't know what's going on.
All right, so you guys are knocked out again, and that is 28.
Oh, what? You want to come up here and say hi to everybody? Hmm? Oh, you just looking for a potato chip.
All right, we're flying through these events.
What? You don't want to come up here. Oh, come on. What? What?
All right, so once again, you all are woken up, and
Is it woken up or awakened?
as as they get to the back of the room, you see that the Quaggoth, who's um, splashing water on everybody and slapping and getting people awake. The one of the little gnomes in the back sort of jerks awake and instinctively lashes out and scratches him, and he slams, and you hear a crack as his head hits the back of the wall, and the orc starts laughing. And it's just laying there still, and the other one is trying to shake it and get it to respond. And you all are given a mushroom. And for the first time since you've been here, You feel full. You are not hungry anymore.
Feel sorry for Stool. He had to eat one of his brethren.
Why did
More
Stoli?
like a second cousin.
Does that make you a carnivore or a
Cannibal.
or something?
Henry and the creepy gnome are taken away. You guys are put back to sleep. Kayahi, Eldith, and Foster. Give me just a second here. So the two of you are woken up, and they take the dwarf as well. And you are starting with the room you're in. Your job is to empty the chamber pots, take them over to the waterfall, rinse them out, bring them back, and you have to do that throughout the whole complex. While you're doing that, though, you notice where did I put it? Keep closing, instinctively closing these. Okay. All right, so that is Kayahi. I don't remember if I shared this with you or not. I know, Foster, you have it. But so again, you all are coming from here. You go through here and into here. These are stalactites are carved out, and there are little rooms in them. Sometimes multiple rooms. And you find out that in this one, can you guys see that ping even though it's in the mask?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in this stalactite, there's a little grooves in the wall that you can climb up to a room above you. It is a guard tower, so guards sit here, and there's chairs and a little table and some shelves and things. But you notice as you're both of you are cleaning out the chamber pots and stuff, you see that the room above you has, you see the boar spear that Penrod had, and you notice the holy symbol that Zash had, sort of in this, just out of in a pile. So it looks like some of your gear, at least, is in the upper section up here.
Nice.
All right, and then you are brought back.
Foster's trying to find a small piece of copper wire, like off of a copper bed chamber, copper piece, something like that.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be today, but he's kind of looking for it.
All right, Zash, Kronoff, and the orc are told to come over here. So I'm going to show. I don't remember who has it or not. I know Maticuri has it, so I'm just going to share this with everybody. Make sure everybody has it now. So again, this is the side view. This is where you are. This is where you all are taken right now as Zash and Zash, you've done it before. I don't think Kroneth you have. I don't remember, but you were brought down here where these Prince Darendel has told you all that he is a Quaggoth, and so now you know what these things are. They're called Quaggoths, and that's where all the Quaggoths live, is in this den over here, and it reeks, and you guys are forced to clean it out. Is there anything the two of you want to say to the orc or about the orc while you're in there? Again, you have a couple moments where you can talk, whisper real quick.
Warrior, do you speak my tongue?
If Ront want to, your tongue is foul in my mouth, just like your kind.
I understand. Were we standing on a battlefield, we would be enemies. But right now, there is a bigger enemy to be challenged. Once we are free of this, if we decide we still cannot stand each other's company, I would be glad to address that with you. But for now, allies. Agreed?
I will not kill you first.
Fair enough. When the time comes, can I count on you to help? Or are you going to be the do-it-yourself type and die alone? Trust me, I've seen it happen. They will throw you to the spiders if they think you will be a problem.
These elves will die at my hand.
Oh, I'm certain they will. Just bide your time for the proper moment. Patience, friend. May I call you friend? For now. I promise you will taste elf blood.
After the grunt, he sort of turns and walks away. Cleans somewhere else. Alright, so you guys are brought back in.
He said his name was Grant?
R-O-N-T, Ront.
Right.
And alright, and that side view, is it, what do I, oh, just unidentified. Okay, so let me put vision, side view, there we go. That may be something you want to keep for a little while. When I did this on the abyss. Yeah, there should be supposed to be a way for me to. Alright, I'll worry about that later. Okay, so as you're brought back in, you see these guards come in and they have this bucket, and this is the first time you've seen this happen. But they come in and they hold the water up to your mouth. If you don't drink it right away, they just dump it on you. One by one, you go around.
What's up, Musman? What's up? Sorry.
And then again, one by starting, they grab you, throw you in this cage, push you under the waterfall.
Can we drink while we're under the waterfall for a half a second?
Absolutely. I don't know. You're there for a good 3 to 5 minutes. Just getting drenched by this torrent.
Rehydrate
it's
a little
painful.
bit.
How much it hurts? Oh, absolutely. Drink, you can go to the bathroom, do whatever you want to do while you're there.
All of the above.
And then
Absolutely.
Not necessarily that order.
That's right. So you're brought back in. Everybody's dripping and wet as you're brought back in. Um, anybody who you see the orc sort of struggle and they beat him, and eventually he just gets knocked out again, thrown into the cage, and then they just drag it out. He's drugged back in, dumped back onto the floor. Um, and you see Ivana shows up again. This time, she's nowhere near as differential as she was the first time to this woman.
Is that somebody we've not seen before?
Correct. You have not seen this woman before. She sort of comes over and looks. She just sort of dismisses Zash, um, Kranath, Keahi, and just goes around. Um, Comes back to Foster, looks him up and down, finishes going around the room. You see her talking a little bit to Ileana. Again, they're speaking a language you all, uh, by, by this time, you have determined it's Elvish they're speaking. And then she nods, and Foster, you are grabbed and
Oh,
taken out, and you are drug out. And you walk all the way out to where the cage is. I don't think you've seen the cage before, but if you look at the side view, um, you see that there's a cage over here, and it is all the way up. Um, you see she has a very large. You guessing it's like a half ogre, some sort of brutish. It might be a half orc, but if it is, it's much bigger than normal. Um, Walking with her, uh, as soon as you guys get onto the rope bridge, and you're taken down in the cage.
he's just being like
And
very quiet.
you're put into this large, like, best thing you can way you can describe it is a carriage, but it's unlike other carriages you've seen before. And inside the carriage is this other female drow. I shared it with everybody by mistake. Oh well. Anyway, and she sort of looks you up and down. They say a couple things in Elvish, and she smiles and sort of claps her hands and sort of like you would a dog. He sort of motions for you to come closer. You're only a few feet away from her anyway. Um,
How like sheepily cower and kind of grovel towards her and like get down on my like get low and crawl up next to her.
okay, so she sort of scratches your head and she looks at you and checks your teeth and uh, holds up your arms and just a general checking you out. And she's really happy and beaming, and you can see the
Uh,
other sisters, the original female noble, is smiling. Um, Give me an insight check. It's very low.
He's not very wise. I think.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So you can tell that she was a gift you were given to this other woman as a gift, and so you feel slight jerk. The guard is outside. You didn't see where he went, but it's just three of you in here. As you move, um,
would it be appropriate to yell out the carriage? Suckers! No, sorry. No.
Right. Later, bitches.
Hey,
All
them
right.
bitches got me a ride. Wait, we can't hear you? Oh. We should be able to hear him. Oh. I'm talking to myself in the stream. It's secret. Shh. He's he's telling the joke. If you travel over the river and, and it goes this way, you're gonna watch this poor little kobold get drowned by this drow elf. Uh huh. If you end up watching the stream later, Sven, and you're trying to remember what you said during this section, just remember you left me up here in this channel by myself. So it's it's fine. It's fine. Testing. The hell?
Blackness.
Was I supposed to be left in there by myself?
Yeah, because you weren't here.
Okay, I just
And
double checking because like
she.
the
Oh, that's
stream
right.
isn't
Never mind.
hearing
I forgot about
anything.
the stupid stream. Yeah, yeah. So
I'm like,
never mind.
Sven, if you watch this
Yeah, you need
later
to come
and
back.
you need to remember what you were
Yeah,
saying, you're not going to.
that's right. So she had come in and inspected everybody, and gave direction on some what she wants changed. She noticed that the little dwarf, I mean, the little gnome was unconscious and or dead, and now she's punishing the Quaggoth that did it. Uh, After he was beaten, and she grabs him by the neck, and you see this blackness as the fur around his neck, where her hand is, starts just dropping off and falling, and this rot just appears around his neck, and his eyes roll back and he collapses. And then they, as she leaves, they push his dead body off the edge of the cliff. She's clearly not happy with what he did. All right. Meanwhile, so then you guys, after this happens, again, you'll have one other chance. Did you want to whisper quickly to anybody as the guards are occupied with the punishment that's happening?
No, I will just watch.
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Then you all are put back to sleep. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, you're given little treats, and you're given these little candies, and she sort of preens you and such. With a little, she has a little comb and brushes and things,
Oh yeah,
trying to
right
brush
there.
out
That's a good
little
spot.
hairs and get your scales and stuff. Um, but you notice, go ahead and give me a perception check.
I don't know shit. I'm
So
just into it. I'm like the dog with his collar getting
exactly,
run. He's like,
you got your eyes closed as you're watching stuff, and you hear sniffing every once in a while and stuff. And after about 20 minutes, maybe half an hour, you look up and you realize her eyes are just totally red. She has some tears coming down her things. You see her wiping her nose. Um, Her hands are starting to well up uh, with these little blistery looking things where she's been touching you. Um, and the sister or the first noble grabs you and pulls you away, and the other one sort of starts to protest a little bit, but coughs and sneezes, um, and they she yells out something, and the carriage stops. You're taken out, and you're thrown on top of the carriage, uh, and tied down, and they see them turn around and come back, and you're brought back into to the cage
bitches bringing me back.
as you may not realize it, but she's clearly allergic to cobalt, and so she's you put back into the cage and you're brought up, and as you're led back, this guard you see you've noticed this guard used to be with Ileana, Ilvara, as when she appeared the first couple times you saw her. Last time she was there today, he was not with her, and he's very distinct in that you probably presume he was good looking if you're into Drow, but he has these scars on his face now and down his neck, and they look to be pretty recent. They are
Is it
healed over, but they still look pretty recent.
is it Panty Boy?
No, it's a different one.
Oh, okay.
Like I
I
said,
was like,
he was
oh,
always with
he got in
Ilvara, and
trouble.
he's not with her anymore. But as he's bringing you over the thing, there's a moment where it's just him, and there's guards are in front of you, watching you all come towards you. Guards are behind you as you're crossing over this rope bridge, and he whispers to you, "If I could give you a means to escape from here, would you take it?"
Uh-huh.
And they bring you back, and you put back, and they grab the creepy gnome, and
Is he awake?
as they're dragging him out, they're splashing him with water and waking him
If I
up
get a chance to whisper
as
to
he
him, I'll
goes
just
out.
say,
Just go with it. Just go with it. You'll be fine.
And so he's taken out, and the so a couple of the guards um, say, "What's wrong with you? Why are you not good enough? Make us do all this extra work," and they punch you and kick you, and as they're locking you up. Um,
it, wa- it was almost worth the Stu Scooby stacks that I got. It's almost worth
oh
the
yeah,
D&D.
you're riding high. You got those nice burps. That you can taste it again.
Oh,
Yes.
little peanut butter. Yum, yum, yum.
Okay.
We can't hear you now. You're muted.
Who's muted?
Jingo.
All
We're,
right.
we're back.
Now, um,
Okay, for some reason my Discord wants to be funky. Yeah, you might have heard Kat. She's right behind me streaming.
there we go. Okay, so this is so this time I'm going to go ahead and let's see. Andre. Okay. So this happens off and on. Um, One time it's Penry, Eldeth, and Keahi are taken, and they have to you're forced to do laundry. Um, and 27.
Yeah, he
Takes
just
this.
kind of tries to keep an eye out to see if he can get a feel for how many drow there are. Like, just
Okay, so they do have as close to a uniform as you've seen, in that they wear similar type armor. It looks like they're all the armor from the same place and stuff. Uh, and you do notice that the guards with Ilvara were the same four people. They've now one of them has changed. Um, there was a guy who had a big scar on his face, so he sort of stood out. Um, and as you've interacted, and sort of walked by him and stuff, you see it's relatively fresh scar. It's healed, but it's clearly not been there for very long. Um, and he's no longer part of the four guards that guard Ilvara. Uh, and but those four stay the same. The two Quaggoth, as far as you can tell, are the same. So the six by her have always been the same. You're guessing there's about 8 Quaggoth all total, and give me a investigation check.
hey, not very good at that, especially being exhausted.
Okay, you're guessing anywhere between 12 and 20, including the ones that are guarding her. From what
Okay.
you've seen, because you've cleaned the mess hall, you've cleaned. There's also a barracks, but you've looked in there and seen it. That's what the second door is. But there are also a couple of the other stalagmites that you've seen them come in and out of. So it's hard to know exactly because you haven't ever actually counted beds or seen beds besides the few of you who have actually been into her chambers. And she only has obviously has the one.
Okay.
Got panties.
All right, let me see. Okay, so that is
Well, you tried anyway.
all right. So this time I think it's now. I might be giving it away to one person who doesn't know yet. Yeah, he already came and picked up. Um, so I'll just I'm not going to pull you guys away again, but um, Foster and the where there's Jim Jar, not Jim Jar, the dadgummit, hold on, I'm sorry. Yes, so the little gnome, the you've been able to determine now that you've seen them several times that one's a male, one's a female. The male is the one who is either unconscious or dead, um, and the female is very distraught. Anytime you see her awake, you see, and even when she's asleep, you see there tears, streaks all down her face, um, and so Foster, they take her and you head on chamber pot duty, and while you're there, you see this prisoner brought up from the on the cage as Cronoth and Eldeth are brought over to work the cage and bring the cage up. It's a human. He's asleep. You see there's a guard, 2 drow with him. One of them has a bag and a backpack. And as they come in, you guys are cleaning out the guard room right across from. So you step out of your prison. There's a rope bridge to a stalagmite, and that's the guard room. You see that the guy with the bag and the backpack comes in there, and you can see him climb up and put that stuff in the room above the guard room. So are able to figure out that that's probably where your belongings are, is up above the guard room.
Does it look like it's locked, like the door and stuff to get into it and all that?
No, but there are always guards there. You've never seen a time where there are guards not there. It is open once you get in there, because a couple of you were cleaning and happened to look up and see in the mess that's up there, see some of your stuff. So it's just a matter of getting past the guards that are in the bottom floor.
Do the Solasta shovels apply to drow? I'm just asking for a friend.
It depends on the drow. You don't know. They may all have rings of featherfall because they work on a cliff. Who knows? It would make sense.
They can
Yeah, but they
levitate.
still fall
Bastards.
into those spiders, and I don't think the spiders care.
Yeah.
That's right. They're trained spiders.
So,
They have
have we
collars
heard
and little
these gnomes
whistles.
talk? Or the dead or
watchdogs.
unconscious one probably not, but the female, have we heard her say anything?
She does. She speaks Undercommon again because Cronoth knows. Trying to get him to wake up and respond to her. Yes. She is very despondent, and is half the time she's just sort of shuffling along till they end up grabbing her and throwing her back into the room, and instead taking Penrod out and making him finish the job because she's useless. But while you guys, Foster and Penrod, you happen to be in the priestess's room, and again, that is the one over here. Mode. So that's the second. Straight in front of you, the base stalagmite is the guard room. The next one over is where Ilvara is, and she's on the top floor. That one has 3 floors. The rope bridge brings you to a center room, and then there's a room above it as well. And you see that the prisoner is brought into the room, and then you just happen to notice that he's taken up to the top floor. You don't know what happens while that's there, but as you're dumping out chamber pots and cleaning them and bringing them back,
We weren't taken
see-
up there, right?
no, you guys have never. You've been to her room, but you've never been up. You don't know what's above her room, and that's where this guy is taken. And then about 20 minutes later, you see the guard come out again. He looks like he's still either asleep or dead or unconscious, and they just dump his body over the edge onto the webs. And by the way, if you didn't notice, because it's a little hard to tell, if you guys are looking at the side view, you can see that this is what the webs are.
Yeah.
So there's a layer of webs, and especially from the cage, it's clear that there's stuff below the webs as well.
I just want to know where these drow get all this corn. Damn it. Dumping these chamber pots out.
All right, and when that happens,
It's one of his personality traits.
Kiahi. And Keahi, when you were doing the laundry,
Mm-hmm.
you
Hey.
happen to find a shard of flint, and is very sharp, but it's amazingly balanced. So it might hurt you when you hold it if you don't wrap it with something. Give it a handle of some kind. But you think you could stab somebody with it? You might even be able to throw it. I'm gonna put that in your inventory.
Jailhouse shiv.
Plus, you can make a
Yeah.
fire since it's flint. Fire! Fire!
Go.
I could do that without the flint.
And
If
we
you
Firebolt.
have
equip it.
access to the weave.
And
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
basic enough that I'll say you're proficient with it. All right,
You
and
become proficient with a jailhouse
Well,
shiv. Nice.
yeah.
It's a story.
I'm looking at
yourself a tattoo
Kranath
with it.
or Zash and see if I can't, finally get it to them. Because I think they'd be more useful with it than I. Next time we are in the same room.
okay.
You need to find a toothbrush, then you can make a
Ooh.
handle out of it.
Okay. So it's fitting that Foster would find this. All right, so Foster, you're being brought back into the cell, and when you go to sit down, you see that there's this large spider. Well, for D&D, it's not large, but it's about the size of a tarantula, and it's just sort of there sitting next to where you normally are chained and manacled.
I want to try to give it some food and see if I can friend it.
Don't. It's probably a spy for the elves.
And you absolutely can. So you are able to have this somewhat pet thing. It's a
Got a
living
new
spider
familiar
the size of a tarantula.
I'm gonna call him
And
that
Smokey
you can't talk
'cause
to.
he's gray like smoke.
You also gonna call him Squishy because he squishes real easy?
Well, I call him lunch if that happens, but that's fine.
That's right. Okay. All right. So then everyone is woken up again. Again, you're given a mushroom. Uh, again, it's really hard to tell by this point. You're very hungry again, and you're still kept exhausted, but it's especially um, none of you are monks, are you? Let's see.
I met one time.
Cronoth, yeah, see, Penry, the monk isn't here. But Cronoth and Penry would recognize their bodies enough, maybe even Zash a little bit. You're in game mechanics. You're kept at one level of exhaustion, but you're not pushed farther than that. So just as you think you can't, you're ready to start chewing on these manacles and the chains, you're given another mushroom, and you feel full again. It's the equivalent of a good berry, so it gives you enough food for one day. About an hour or so later, you're starting to get hungry again because it's only one meal, but still,
It's like Chinese
you're
food then, right?
it's not that bad because it is a full day. But when you've gone probably a couple days without eating at all, and then you eat, um, it doesn't last as much as it would in a normal situation. But you're given enough to recover a little bit more of your strength. Cronoth and Ront are taken uh, to go cook in the big men hall, in the big barracks hall. Again, you're this time the guards are right there on you the whole time, making sure you're just doing what the cook says, and they basically point and so you're very much
Peel the potatoes.
watched and guarded, making sure. But as
Peel the
you're
mushrooms.
brought back in, you notice that everyone is awake now, and where's the map? Let me find the map. Prison. Here it is. All right, so Deerndale. Bupido is. Oh, and by the way, the rest of you noticed that Bupido is gone. Foster came back, and Bupido is gone.
Foster, what happened to the other guy?
Which one?
The old one.
Does Foster know? Did I miss that?
Yeah, when you were brought back, he was taken out.
Oh.
Remember, you whispered to him, "Hey, you just go."
Oh,
with
the old gnome.
Yeah.
Oh, so that we just watched him get taken out. I thought he had gone out with Foster.
No,
Uh-uh.
you guys were
Okay,
asleep.
never mind.
Foster was taken away. You guys were put to sleep. When you woke up, Foster was there, and the old guy was gone.
Foster says, "Well, he's probably doing a little better than we are. That was kind of a nice little trip." He starts crying a little.
All right, so you brought in, and everyone is woken up. You guys are given the food, and so the guards are there, and they drag up the fish guy, and they grab Keahi, and you're still manacled and stuff, but they bring you to where you're standing close to each other, and one of the guards says,
Hakana,
And-
Hakana.
both of you just sort of look at him like you don't understand. So he says, "Dance or fight."
Yeah, he starts dancing.
And
Like some kind of like Irish jig or something.
So-
like
the
Doing the
fish
robot.
guy also starts dancing awkwardly, and you see one of the guards has this drum head on his waist,
Give us the beat.
attached to his belt, and he's just sort of hammering out this basic little beat on his drum. So go ahead and give me a
Can you give me a little syncopation with that?
performance check.
Oh, terrible. No, not really, but I'm going to use my inspiration just to cancel out my negative
Okay.
for no reason.
a 5.
Still didn't a 1.
And so the Sushar is not much better. So after about a minute or so, they push you back and have you sit down. So then they grab Eldeth and Zash. They pull you to the center. Dance or fight.
Who did they pull to the center with me?
Eldeth.
Dwarf.
Oh, I'm not going to swing on a dwarf lady. I'm dancing.
All right. So she sort of goes into a stance and then sees you dance, and she sort of tilts her head a little bit and then shrugs and she also starts sort of dancing. Uh, she's about as good as Sushar and Kayahi were. Um, it's like she just can't get the rhythm as she's trying to do clearly some sort of dwarven move,
Interpretive dance.
but doesn't fit with what they're doing. Again, they push you back. And they drag Foster and Top Turvy. Fight or dance.
Well, did he see everybody else trying to dance?
Yes, you guys have all been awake watching this.
All right. He's not very impressed with the dancing, so he's like, "Wah! Bring it on, bitches! Wah!"
And
He's gonna start stalking Cobalt Smack.
okay.
Like,
She sort of bares her teeth at you. And goes to bite you.
Yes! I win. The most hits.
That's right. And so they grab her as you start start to lose consciousness. They grab her and drag her off and move you over. And you see
I
that one of
weakly
them
like try to swing at her as I pass out.
finds a little bit of your wounds enough to where you don't actually pass out. You're sitting there woozy, but she clearly is a little odd because most gnomes don't have teeth like that.
And she doesn't speak
And
common, so I can't make any smart aleck remarks.
that's right.
Can make 'em.
Kronoth and Ront
That would be useful at this moment.
fight or dance. And they haven't even finished the sentence before Ront is swinging at you.
Yeah,
No,
he
I
pipes up.
was the
Try a
words
ballroom
didn't get-
dance.
As soon as they brought him out, I was swinging. I don't know who got the swing first.
All right, go
I
for
was like, it
do
was
an
like
unarmed attack.
Rocky and what's his face?
Yeah, as it freezes.
Yeah,
Apollo Creed.
Apollo
Apollo
Creed.
Creed, right?
Okay, what'd you say? I missed it over top.
Ding ding.
Unarmed attack, unarmed strike. Do you have it coded?
It should be on your actions tab. I think it is the only thing on your actions tab.
Some of them don't, because I know the monk does, and some people do.
People that actually use physical attacks might.
Nice. All right. Roll your damage.
So it says 5 damage.
Yeah, that's just.
Oh, that's right.
It's
Yeah,
fifth
you're-
edition is just a set
You're a
amount.
One
you're
plus
not a
your
monk.
strength.
You're not a monk, so you don't.
If you have a low enough strength, you can actually heal people. Though I've seen it. It's a cool thing.
Right, so
Minus
Kronoff,
one.
your
No, it does.
armor class is 11. All right, so you do a solid slam into his right into his chest, right below his where like his collarbone is, and he sort of stumbles back and he does this weak and hits your arm, but it's nowhere close to the solid strike you did. And
Just straight up punched the dude in the throat. Is that what you did? Ouch.
Yep, just below the throat, and he stumbles back.
Non-lethal throat strike.
And they clap and laugh at him, and he's clearly not happy with you as
That's the
you
orc?
guys are pushed back. Yes,
What?
and he's just staring daggers at you.
Boo! Oh, sorry.
Bring it, boy.
All right, and then I think that's all four of you, correct? Yeah. Okay. All right. So then they all put you back to sleep and walk out.
I just know
You
that when
hear
we
them
finally
laughing
get
Was
out
I-
of here,
Exchanging coins and things as they're walking out.
Was I able to get the flint
Oh.
shard over to Kranath?
Yes, I'll say for the sake of argument, you're able
Okay.
to do that.
I'm gonna drop that in the party sheet for you. It's basically it's a dagger, so you can just
Excellent.
take it straight out of the party sheet.
Okay.
I'm just gonna
Very
cut
good. Have we
myself with it.
I was just going to ask, so we ever figure out a way to protect it?
I could
Like-
hold it with my mage hand, but it wouldn't do much.
like inflict wounds on yourself, kind of like say
Yeah.
stuff.
Perform
or-
surgery on
I
myself.
mean, you are a lock, right? I mean, maybe you have
Yeah.
to sacrifice flesh to your patron. We don't know.
Nah, my patron's a genie. He don't care about flesh.
Like Robin Williams kind
All
of
right,
cheating.
so
Yeah.
you all are woken up again, and let's see, Zash, Kiahi, do you have and Kronoff? Do the two of you have facial hair?
No. Yeah, he has no
Do
Do
hair.
you
No.
shave it, or does it just not exist?
Yeah, he does not grow hair.
Okay.
I would shave it, so if it were there
You
a
like
couple
powder?
days in game time, I'd probably
Yeah.
have a stubble.
Okay.
No eyebrows, no mustache hair, no nothing. No body hair.
All right. So, Kronoff, give me a. I'm gonna say it's a Constitution. Actually, no, medicine. Give me a medicine check. Those.
I'm only 7 and I have hair.
It's a side
So
of
you're
effect of
guessing
being a fire element
it's
kin.
been at least a week,
It's like letting the charcoal grow.
maybe a little bit longer, and for you, remember, so a 10-day. You're guessing it's been about a 10-day. Just from the amount of hair that you have growing and on your face, facial hair.
Okay, I got you.
Okay. So everyone, again, you all woken up. You're each given a mushroom, and this time, one of the guards picks up the body of the gnome, and females is trying to hold on, and she's shoved back down, and she just basically collapses and just see tears coming down, and she's just crying silently, and the body is taken out, and is thrown over the edge, and you see her stand up. As the guard comes back in, she races out and just leaps out over the abyss. The guards try to grab her, and she just flies out over the edge.
Can I have their
You
mushroom?
got a jumper.
And then
They don't need
you
it.
guys are not put back to sleep.
Oh.
About 10 minutes later, Alvana comes over, and you see your door is locked. All the guards are brought out, and all the guards are lined up, facing away from you, but against the door of the cell. And she can proceed to just whip every single one of them one after another, going down the line.
She's like, yes, 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 yes. No, 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 no.
Yes,
And
yes. No.
you see one of them drops to one knee and then sort of pulls himself back up as you see blood pooling on the floor just outside where it is. And then after it takes a good half hour, um, and then she leaves, and they sort of wince away and stumble away. Um, Different guards are brought out, and you see the scarred drow is on watch. And you guys have seen what happens enough. Penry, give me a. Oh, again, damn. Oh, it wasn't Penry, it was Foster. So, Foster, you've seen what's happened enough. Um, he points the wand as he's going around the room, and he points the wand at you. But you don't go to sleep.
I pretend like I
And
do.
then
Though.
he points the wand at the next person. All right, so you. And he sort of. His eyes are sort of staring at you as he goes to point the wand at somebody else. And when you collapse, pretend to go to sleep, he sort of moves along, making sure you got the hint. And so he also, let's see, here it is, the prison. All right, so Foster, Kronoth, he points the wand at you, and nothing happens. Then he points it at Prince Darendelle, and Prince Darendelle collapses.
I pretend to collapse and go to sleep.
Okay.
When I realize
All right, and so again, it was going to be Penry, but I'm going to say Zash, same thing. He points it at you. Nothing happens. He points it at Ront.
I will do the same thing.
Okay. All right, so the three of you are able to get a long rest. So that is.
What?
Uh, Foster, Kronoth, and Zash. And you guys are no longer exhausted. Oops, I deleted your light, Zash. I'm sorry. I didn't. I couldn't see it out. Didn't realize you had it there. All right. Exhaustion. So if you get a torch again, you just have to add it to yourself. And then Foster. All right. All right. So I'd forgotten about this part. All right. So yeah, 'cause I had detailed notes on every tiny little thing by the hour, by the day, and then there's just a huge gap, and it's like, and now this happened. Ta-da! Okay, so give me just a second here. I'm 90% sure. Here it is. Right, so the three of you, as it's still very uncomfortable now that you're actually awake and trying to go to sleep. It is not very easy, and it's also very difficult to not shift. Your bodies are very sore from laying on rock and sleeping on rock. So all three of you, Zash, Foster, and Kronoth, give me Constitution. I'm gonna say saving throws. Give you a little bit of a bonus. All right, and Kronoth.
Where would that be?
So that's on the
Just
very
On your main
front
page on
page.
the right column.
On the left, you have the normal stat, and on the right, it says
Saves.
these are your saves.
Just double click on the number.
On the die.
Okay, because I tried to
Yep.
drag it and didn't work. So double click. I got you.
Oh, you can't drag
Well,
them?
that didn't
All
work.
right. So Foster, you're fine. I mean,
I just drug that on accident.
You've slept in first. You've
You,
been.
you can't drag it in chat.
Huh, that's weird.
This is no. I'm used to sleeping with 20 other kobolds, so this isn't so bad.
All right. Give me just a second here. I'm trying to get to the actual. So, as you guys are, like I said, Foster, you're fine. You usually sleep like a rock. You don't care. And but Zosh, you're having a hard time getting comfortable. Sort of end up sort of moving over to Prince Darendil and sort of using him like a spooning the prince to get comfortable.
Better than
Using
forking him.
That's right. That's right.
Is that how Prince of Wales became in existence? He lost his
Okay.
tails.
I don't know if he's the big spoon or the little spoon.
I'm always the big spoon.
Okay. All right. So here we go.
You sound pretty sure about that. It's like a mission.
So again, there's this lantern that's sort of lighting the way just outside on the platform where you are. Inside where the Quaggoth live, there's this luminescent fungus that grows and lichen on the ceiling, so that's dimly lit all the time.
That's
Inside,
in the bottom one, right? That's down there.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep. You guys have noticed there is no way off this ledge. If you go all the way to, it ends at the Quaggoth den, and if we go past to the other side, where the main hall is, and the barracks are, past the cage, it ends there as well. So the only way on or off this ledge is to jump or to use the cage.
We
Are
get
any of you
to.
trained in survival?
I'm not.
Where's the party sheet? Party sheet.
I am.
Okay. All right. So Kronoth, you have a pretty good idea that if you were to get to the webs, you could probably drop into the waterfall, into the water below. And not die.
Immediately.
From
Okay.
when you guys have pulling, those of you who've lowered and brought down and up and down the crate, you're guessing you're about 100-ish feet up from the base of the floor, wherever this cage goes. You know that the waterfall lands somewhere into a body of water. as you can hit the way it splashes and things. And also, sometimes you've seen some of the other lights and such.
Well, Foster also knows that there's some kind of transport down below system because he got into some kind of chariot or wagon.
Right, and but that belonged to that noble woman. So you didn't see
But
anything else down there. So you do have a better idea, actually. So you saw that there is a. I'd forgotten about that. Give me just a second here. So you know, um, where is that button? There it is. Okay. So you know that underneath the stalactites, the first two, the one that has the guard tower and the Ilvara's chambers, there's water. And then under the third stalactite and where the lift is, there is no water. So the water, there's like a little lake that pools and collects underneath the waterfall, and it goes and extends all the way to where the Quaggoth hut is. I mean, the Quaggoth den is. So beneath, from here all the way over to here, this whole area has water underneath it. The webs have water underneath them. Past it here and over beyond the lift, there is
You go splat.
it's dry land. You did see. Go ahead and give me percentile. Nice. Okay, so you saw at least two entrances out of here. Again, you don't know which way is up or which way is down, but you saw at least two. You rode out on one and came back in one. And as you guys came back, you were strapped to the top of the wagon, and you saw there's another off to the left. As you came in toward the water, there's one off to the left.
Did it look guarded or anything?
You didn't see any people down on the bottom at all,
Oh.
besides the noble.
that was their
Um,
disposal. They were just
they-
dropping the bodies over.
And what was pulling the wagon thing? Was that the ogre guy thing or
Lizard.
A lizard?
There's two large lizards.
Well, if Foster gets a chance, he's gonna tell what he knows.
So
Even
across from the guard tower is where. So if you were to fly directly out of your cell and straight across, you would not hit the wall. You would go into the passageway.
into the guard where our stuff is at up here, right? We would.
No, that's what I'm saying. On the bottom level,
Oh, down at the.
straight across is where that entrance is.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah,
Like
there's a rope bridge straight
this,
across.
this side of the
Yep.
the cavern down below.
Right, but if you're on the bottom level, 100 feet down, and ran straight across, that's where the exit is. The other exit is you turn
So
right and go past the guard tower, past Ilvara, past the barracks.
all that.
That's where the other entrance is. So there's two entrances you know of. Okay, and let's see, what else do you guys know? From cleaning the Quaggoth rooms, you'll notice that the rooms. Where's my side view? So you'll notice that from the side view, where's close the image. Sorry guys. So the web seemed to go down a little bit, and so underneath where the Quaggoth's den is, they are the closest to the floor, and they sort of slant up and then level out underneath the guard tower. So if you were able to climb along the webs, the closest to the floor is underneath the Quaggoth den.
And there's still water down there.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It could be 2
All right.
feet deep, but there's water over there. We don't know the facts.
Okay, next is all right. So I just need to
Is
you
there's
guys are
guards outside the cell? They looking in? Are they looking out? What are they doing? Are they not there? Assuming that we can't do anything.
so
I'm kind of like peeking through semi-open, semi-closed eyelids.
right. All of the above. As anybody who has stood watch over a boring watch, like in boot camp, where you're just guarding rocks for the sake of guarding rocks, um, they'll walk over the. You hear the creaking of the rope bridge. They'll come. They'll lean against the door. They'll talk to their friend. They'll see them walk toward the Quaggoth den a little bit, come back. So they're not stationary. They're not like the Queen's Guard where they don't move. But they're also not. So it makes it hard. They're not following a routine. They're just bored. And so when they feel like moving, they'll move a little bit. They typically stay within 20, 30 feet of the gate of the door that they're supposed to guard.
All right. So
Always within the light that's there.
okay. So when they're a little further away from the front, as I'm kind of keeping an eye and see if there's like a bit of a routine or more or less. I also want to try and get a little bit of the silk off to make a pseudo handle so I don't cut myself on this uh, my shiv.
Okay. And what is your? You are an outlander. Yeah, that's fine. I'll say you're from. You're not. It's not like you're city born and bred. You're from a clan,
Like
and
County.
you live in the mountains and the colder climates and stuff. So absolutely, I'd say that's you don't even need to roll for that.
Excellent.
So as you guys are laying there, you start hearing this noise, and it's sort of like a screech. Closest thing you can equate it to is like a bird of prey. But then they get louder and a little bit more often, and you see the guards starting to um, become a lot more animated. You hear noises, you hear footsteps, even from where you are. You can tell that there are shouts and yells um, as people are starting to react to whatever's going on out there. And give me perception checks for the three of you who are awake.
Woohoo! 9.
Mm-mm.
There you go. Perfect. Now I know what to look for. Who am I missing? Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, nice. 17. Look at that. Okay,
Yeah.
so you are able to tell that two things. One, the guards are clearly not paying attention to you guys. I mean, they'll they do a quick look every 5 minutes or so, but make sure you guys are still asleep. But they're more craning their necks, trying to see what's going on. Um, so they're clearly not paying attention to you. And then you hear the sound of clearly combat. Something is happening out there, and you can tell that there are multiple things making this noise, and sometimes they get extremely loud, where it's almost painful. These screeches that echo throughout the large chamber, and then if they're sometimes they'll bounce through the prison, uh, and people who are asleep don't hear anything, but those of you who are awake, it's very hard not to react because it is extremely loud. What is this?
Go away, Mom. I'm sleeping. Oh,
Right. And you see
Lap Foster in the face.
the scarred guard, on the platform there, and he's talking. He talked to the other guard for a moment, does some things, and you happen to see that he steps close to the door and then steps away, and you saw him unlock the door.
Foster's gonna try to wake up
And-
whoever's asleep.
Well,
Like nudge him.
Keahi is the only one who saw that.
Oh, Kiahi is. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
with the why
That
did
is
he
where
have
we'll leave it.
disadvantage? Because did he not get his? Oh, he did get his rest. That's
he didn't get a rest.
Yeah, he didn't
he's
get
the only
arrested.
one that saw it, but he's like,
So
Thought
that's
it
where
was
we'll
a
leave it for the
dream at
night.
first.
So
Hallucinating.
escape possibly could be right there. You
Could
can
be.
do some. Just think of it like a trapeze act. You just jump and then just land on your back and bounce off the web,
Whee!
and then you'll be fine.
The sticky web with spiders in it. You bounce off it.
I think we should
That's right.
take some flammable stuff down with us.
Thank you, Ben.
2 weeks.
So thank you for playing with me, guys. I appreciate it.
That was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Uh,
Are we Panova tomorrow
That's
night,
pretty
or
much-
is it off? I lost track.
unless you guys decide to Scooby Doo it and separate the party, that's pretty much the end of having to pull you guys separate and keep things apart. So appreciate your patience. I hope you enjoyed it and understand why I did it. Thought it was necessary.
I didn't
but,
find it that odd at all, except for when you left me by myself. So, oh,
You were there the
because
whole
I was there the whole
time.
time.
That's right. And there's nothing to stop you guys from going back and watching videos.
No, it's just kind of the
trying
way
to make it a little more immersive, a little bit.
Yeah.
it's the kind of way we used to play, like live. Come here, out here in the hallway. I want to tell you something. That's
Yeah,
kind of we
exactly.
don't do that enough, so it's kind of cool that way.
So appreciate your
doing
patience and thank
Panova
you so
tomorrow
much for
night?
playing with me, guys.
I believe
Panova's
so.
tomorrow night. Saturday
Unless somebody
night,
canceled.
Panova. Yeah, and then Tuesday back to Curse of Strahd. So rinse and repeat. But we're coming up on holidays, so we'll have to figure those out. But anyways, let's see if there's somebody we should go raid. Who's out there that I'm following? We're gonna
By the
raid.
way-
It's Cliff Gaming using Fantasy Grounds. He is
Nice.
running Dungeons and Dragons. Looks like an early campaign, so I'm gonna get that started. And you guys can say goodnight to the stream.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
There's a couple of people out there hanging out. They're ready to go to bed too, so say goodnight as we go do our raid. See you guys. Have a good weekend.
Have a good one.